Hey guys, I just wanted to pop on to just talk about something really quick that I think is very important for you to at least think about, and I mean every last one of us, regardless of how this all is affecting you, from the pandemic to the exposure and the enlightening to the world of what injustice has been looking like for, in this case, African Americans. You have to know that you are being affected. If you've watched, some of the murders, we are being traumatized as a nation. And if we don't take the appropriate measures to care for ourselves, to acknowledge that we are having traumatic events that are affecting us, I think we will get overwhelmed and we will get overtaken by all that's going on, and we won't be able to function effectively in whatever part that we are supposed to play. Psychology Today talks about compound trauma. It's a type of trauma that occurs repeatedly and usually over a period of time. It's a cumulative effect, and it's within certain relationships, specific relationships, and context, like they've deemed severe child abuse or domestic abuse, military deployment to dangerous locations. It is known that is going to give you trauma. Now, there's three types of trauma. There's acute, chronic, and complex trauma, and you might be suffering from all of them. And if you are African American, this has been chronically affecting us. Now, if you are one who are now getting enlightened and you're seeing these things, and this is your first time being awoken to what's actually been going on with brutality, injustice, systematic racism, if you are in an acute trauma effect like this, I know some of you guys are shocked. It's just unbelievable, some of the things that you are seeing, and you can't believe it, and so you're traumatized too. And then the complex trauma is it's exposure to varied and multiple traumas and events that have been interpersonally affecting you. And so imagine, especially the African American, we exist in this. This is just a chronic thing. And so every event that comes is compounded and compounded and compounded. And so we are fluctuating between acute, chronic, but it is all complex. We all suffer from complex trauma. And so in this time, with all that's going on, so we already have that, and then we still have day-to-day lives, things that major things are happening, still have to try to learn new realities, still coming to grips with that this reality can't be the reality that it was. Some things will never come back. I'm speaking from the pandemic. The way we do things is changed. All of that, guys, is a trauma. And so I just wanted to encourage you, listen to your bodies. If you are, and then there's situational depression, there's situational anxiety and all that, and then there's some that they have the chronic disease and medications and stuff. They care for them. You can live with mental illness, but I just want us all to be careful and understand that we can have acute things come on if we're not careful and we're not paying attention to our bodies. You must not think that none of this is affecting you. You cannot, if you continue to go on like that and not put things in place for good mental health, healthy ways of venting, getting, emotions and things out, if having a safe place, having people that you can be honest and real with, as well as having yourself together enough to be out here to affect change, dealing with people that don't mean you well, and systems that are totally against yours, and so all of those things, you have to make sure you're caring for you. We still have to parent, grandparent. We still have to care for our parents. We still have to work. We still have to be mothers, fathers, sisters, brothers, aunts, uncles, cousins, brothers, sisters, best friends, stand-ins, employers, employees. So on top of all that's going on, we still have to do that. Now, all I want us to do is be cognizant of the fact that, y'all, we are going to have to be intentional about our mental health. It's like taboo. Nobody wants to talk about it. Nobody, because it's just something we don't do. Like, I am depressed. I feel anxiety all the time. I'm feeling overwhelmed. Like, we need to talk about those things. We need to address those things and not just stuff them as we have been doing. And I know in some cultures, mental health is frowned upon. Like, we've been strong. We've been dealing with this. It's not affecting us. But yes, I'm here to tell you, yes, it is. And it is going to spill out in ways that you did not imagine. And even if you say, well, I'm okay. Okay, well, that's fine. We want to keep you okay. We want to make sure that you are participating in the care of your mind, in the care of your body, physically, spiritually, emotionally. We have to be intentional, guys. That's all I wanted to say. Please be intentional at this time about your mental health. I am one that it is hard for me to reach out to say that this is bothering me. It's just not in my nature, and so I've had to reach out like that. I've had to be uncomfortable because I understand, though I feel okay, I know I'm not really okay. And so you couple all this stuff with the day-to-day lives and the things that's imploding and exploding in our own lives at home and in relationships. You just got to be very careful. Please don't isolate, guys. Do not isolate. I know folk get on your everlasting nerves. I'm like, I am over people. I can't take another person. But we can't isolate, because as you isolate and you shut off the world, that is when it becomes more and more overwhelming. It gets more and more damaging because you are not able to process and release. It's the stuff that we stuff in that makes us sick, that gives us problems, the depression and anxiety. It's that which we are stuffing and keeping in. So you have to release. You have to have avenues to get this stuff out. You have to have a way to process out of those feelings, because they're not just going to naturally go away, just like go, out into the never land because it's a different day. No, it'll still be there, and then you'll have the different day with its set of problems compounded upon your set of problems. I'm no doctor, I'm no psychologist, but I am one that knows for sure that we are being traumatized by our very society, by each other. And if we do not care for ourselves, we will implode, explode, and will be no good to no one to make the changes that we have to make, to fight this fight for justice that we're going to have to fight, to make the changes that we are going to have to make for our country to run, to get back to some semblance of order. And so we've got to be clear in the mind. We've got to have our emotions in check in order to make those kind of decisions. And so just know, I am praying for you. You can reach out to me, but please get you a circle, a village, a safe place, a counselor, or someone that you can talk to. And make sure, if you don't journal, maybe journal, maybe write. There's a lot of ways you can record how you're feeling and listen back, because it's as you get it out and you hear and you process, then you'll be clear to know what you need to do and how to care for yourself. I ask that you lean on your faith. God is amazing. He's keeping us in the midst of this utter foolish chaos, shenanigan-filled world that we are living in right now. And we can still sit and smile. So be blessed. Thank you guys.